Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. We got a great one for you today. On the show, we got Pope Francis condemning the atrocities of Catholic Church sex abuse. There are now bulletproof backpacks kids are going to wear to schools. Conservatives and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a complicated relationship to say the least. Brian and Ed Krassenstein and Elon Musk are all going to be subjects on today's show. But first, everyone stop the presses because Don McGahn has flipped. No, he hasn't. It's something that just pretty much sounds like it. Very interesting story that has been reported by the New York Times. It may lead you to believe that Don McGahn has flipped, but the thing is he hasn't, because he was very, very open. That with his wife makes it seem like he flipped, because he was so open to when he testified recently to Mr. Robert Mueller and his team for his investigation into Russian interference in our election, as we know. And the thing is, he's a pretty big player. He has some pretty extraordinary access to the president and some of his most controversial moves surrounding the investigation. And what we've been hearing is the main reason why they want to talk to him is because of one thing: the Russia obstruction of justice probe. Because McGahn has reportedly told investigators what he knew about the president's role in firing James Comey, Trump's criticizing Jeff Sessions, and his role in the Russian investigation, being the president hired outside counsel to deal with the matter. The Times reported, citing a dozen anonymous sources. McGahn's testimony would be huge, obviously, with any obstruction of justice case. He was literally asked to obstruct justice and go ahead and try and fire Mueller, the person who is investigating Trump for alleged miscarriages of justice. So that would be a pretty big deal. His testimony, as that does make sense. We will investigate further into this as time goes by. But for example, for pretty much what's going on right now is a lot of conflict in the narratives. The New York Times is pretty much saying that during this testimony, where McGahn supposedly told all, or was very open, let's just put it that way, with Mueller, what seems to have been happening was the fact that Trump didn't know what he was saying. This was kind of a little bit uncoordinated, which very well could be just the poorly oiled machine that is the Donald Trump administration in the White House. But there is a possibility more to this, that there was some kind of covert effort to try and subvert the president. That's unlikely. But another interesting thing is here that kind of supports the side that Trump didn't really know is privilege was waived here. Trump could have invoked attorney-client and executive privilege to prevent McGahn from talking with investigators who are examining possible obstruction of justice by the president. But the president waived those privileges. Trump and outside lawyers initially representing him in the inquiry hoped that transparency would help quickly put an end to an inquiry that began more than 2 years ago. In tweets over the weekend, Trump emphasized that he granted McGahn permission to talk with Mueller and his investigators, not like he wants to appear that he's pretty much in control of the situation. Like he's got it covered. There's no one on top of this more than Donald Trump is. He's very great, folks. He's great, amazing, huge, the best, tremendous control over this investigation. Yes, it's going to be huge. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to keep an eye on that story because this whole thing with Don McGahn, it's a little bit confusing. But here's the thing: depending on what Trump says, depending on what McGahn says to Mueller on how Trump obstructed justice, and we get the sense, and it's a very realistic sense, that he knows quite a lot about how Trump obstructed justice, it could spell very, very bad things coming down the pike for Donald Trump. So that's one of the main reasons why Trump this is a story worth watching. The question is, does he know? And the second question is, does Trump know how much McGahn went into? And the second thing is, and probably the more important thing is, what did Trump tell Mueller? And the byproduct of that is Is it criminal? Is it obstruction of justice? And that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch for. All right, now here's something that's definitely criminal. Pope Francis issued a rare letter to Catholics around the world on Monday, condemning the atrocities of priestly sexual abuse and its cover-up, demanding greater accountability, and asking his flock to join forces in uprooting this culture of death, which seems a little bit far-fetched because these are the people. It's like asking the victims to say, "Come on, guys, let's work together to stop this." No, the priests are doing this. The priests have been doing this for such an incredible time. It's like if I had a kid, I would not send him to a Catholic church under any circumstances. Nothing associated with Catholics, priests, fathers. No fathers for me, thank you. Because they have pretty much, like, there's just thousands of these people out there who have been doing these horrible things to these kids, taking advantage of them, and oftentimes, for example, the one I'm just thinking of here, of Boston, like, these are incredibly poor kids, who've been preyed on, abused, and really destroyed for the rest of their lives. Like, these are thousands of kids who put their faith in a Catholic church only to be abused and left with the trauma that will stick with them for the rest of their life, which is just some pretty disgusting stuff. Yeah, so he's hopefully will take a tougher tact on this, but something tells me the fact that this Catholic church has seen literally no desire. The Catholic Church, we have not seen a single bit of desire for them to try and reform and change their ways. The fact that this is so prevalent, and we've just seen this time and time again, is probably good reason why Pope Francis and co. are running into this problem, because there is no effort, apparently, just from what we've seen so far, to change anything going on with the Catholic Church and just their activities in general. Because, like, there has been so many priests, like, they've been removed, they've been reassigned, and nothing's working. The fact is, something needs to be changed. There needs to be some real punishment and some really arrests thrown. And the Catholic Church, like, what they need to realize is they're not going to get away with this for impunity, which is, they're not going to have impunity on this matter, which they've had for far too long. And the fact that they've had it is probably a good reason why these cases of abused kids number not in the tens and not in the hundreds, but in the thousands. This situation in Pennsylvania, 1,000 minors by some 300 priests over 70 years. 1,000 minors abused, that is. Yeah, the Pope acknowledged that his a letter that the effects to beg pardon would never be sufficient, and the deep wounds of the victims would never go away. Yeah, no bleep. No bleep. All right, yeah. Anyway, we turn our attention to our next story of the day, and it's a little bit of a disturbing one. All right, this is audio here from Maria Barreto-Romo, who's a host on Fox Business Network, presenting what is a segment from the apocalypse that we are currently living in right now.
Welcome back to school, backpacks taking on all.
By the way, very ironically, the song was Bulletproof there, coming into this segment.
New meaning this morning. MC Armour is the company behind high-end bulletproof backpacks and clothing that are revamping the protective equipment market. It is anticipated to reach more than $5 billion in the next 7 years. That would be the revenue in this business. Here to tell us more about it is Carolina Ballesteros Casas, MC Armour marketing manager. Carolina, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Maria.
And you brought a lot of things. You designed these bulletproof backpacks specifically for the United States.
Yes, exactly. We have different categories of lines of product. We have the gold collection, black collection is fashion with ballistics, and we have the backpacks for kids.
Why did you decide to bring these to the U.S.?
Okay, in the U.S., sadly, there's the gun fact. Everybody can have a gun. So here, kids need to be protected, and we have the fact that there's some school issues. So we need to bring this to the United States.
Tell us how it works. So this is not. It doesn't even feel like it's heavier than a regular backpack.
We have here the backpack plate.
So this is what's in there.
Exactly.
This is what stops the bullet.
That's the ballistic plate.
Got it. Okay.
It has to be hard, not soft, because kids, we work with pediatricians. We have a company with the research and development.
Right.
And the pediatrician says kids before 15 years, they don't have fat, they don't have enough muscles, so they need to have hard ballistics and also to be wear as a shield.
Oh my goodness. It's incredible that this has come to this, though, that we need bulletproof clothing. Some of these things are quite fashion forward. I mean, tell us.
Oh, they're fashion forward. Put their bulletproof clothing in America. Like, where the fix here is so easy. It's so simple. It's so easy within reach. I did watch, this is kind of a little bit of an offshoot here, but I did watch the movie Miss Sloane last night, and it's just like, wow, interesting timing there. Miss Sloane is, for those who don't know, it's like about a gun lobbyist. But it's like incredible that we are legitimately living in the apocalypse. Like, this is with all this like flashy, colorful adornments around the table that they're presenting at back to school segments. Oh great. Yeah, but this is back to school segment with a twist. Like, this could be a Saturday Night Live skit. This could be something on like any, like, this could be Who is America? Like, I see this with Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, this is something that is beyond comprehension to me. Like, the fact that this is insane. Like, this situation here is so easy within reach. No one's saying take away all the guns, making it. I mean, it's just more difficult. And by the way, the fact is that, very sadly, the people who had the best chance of actually changing something on this front, like, they've been pretty much ignored. We got people like David Hogg, people like Cameron Kasky, the Parkland school students. I bet you haven't heard those names in a while. Like TBT from 20 years ago, February 2018. Yeah, but it's just incredible that this is, like, I'm sure Cameron, David Hogg, I'm sure they've had something to say about this, because it is, I haven't checked their Twitter accounts, but it's perfectly right up their alley. And the fact is, this is such an easy issue to fix, and Americans support fixing it. It's not even like it's not even like the gun lobby out there is representing any sort of popular politicians. Even NRA members support universal background checks, which would likely go a long way to stop school shootings. Like, it would likely go a very, 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 very long way in order to stop school shootings. Just to make sure bad people don't have guns and good people do. Like, get them out of the situation in the first place. It's that simple. Like, just, it would really do wonders if we didn't have to do these segments. Like, imagine living in the worlds where we have such an easy fix in front of, like, it's like we're so close from, like, getting into the safe zone, but we are actively going away from it. And this is why we have to have these crazy companies come in these crazy shows and sell their crazy products, which, like, I do not get it. Like, this is, I can't even believe the segment exists, first of all. And the fact that she's like, okay, wow, this is very fashion forward. I like it. Yeah, as a kid, this is not the world that I want to be living in. Like, this is not the world that I don't want to have to go into school with some stupid, like, Kevlar thing attached to my backpack and slid in there so it could be protected from bullets. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't get the point. Like, when everyone knows this is so easy to be fixed. Like, if you look at the NRA, their members support universal background checks. America supports universal background checks. The only people who don't support universal background checks are gun companies. And if you ever think the NRA serves the people, who represent it, the 5 million people who are NRA members, like, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Like, they're going against the wishes of those members, and they're saying, you know what? If just go crazy whenever a well-meaning Republican or Democrat, unfortunately there haven't really been any Republicans notably, whenever a Republican or Democrat, well-meaning or not, doesn't really matter, just attack them, say they're coming to take your guns away, and just go crazy. They've getting them all hyped up about people who just don't want to, they just want to do a better thing and protect